Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. We are continuing reading of Iqbal's Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. So we had stopped here. So in these lectures, I propose to undertake philosophical discussion of some of the basic ideas of Islam. The ideas of Islam, and he will discuss them from a philosophical point of view. Okay, and what's his purpose with that? In the hope that this may, obviously we remember what last time he said about modernity and the rise of religious feeling among Muslim youth and all those. So philosophical discussion of some of the basic ideas of Islam in the hope that this may at least be helpful towards a proper understanding and meaning of Islam as a message to humanity. Proper understanding. So what is the improper understanding? We'll find out. Improper understanding of the meaning of Islam. So he's going to discuss in these lectures Islamic message philosophically, so that in a philosophical language, I guess in the language of the time, so that humanity can find helpful to properly understand Islam. Okay. Also with a view to give a kind of ground outline for further discussion. Ground outline, basic outline, general outline. I propose in this preliminary lecture, in the lecture we are looking at, so the character of knowledge. So this lecture will focus on what is knowledge, and specifically with the view of religious experience, because if you remember at the start he talked about how religious experience has become suspected by educated people, especially the youth, because of the scientific revolution and philosophical revolution. Their perspective is more focused on concrete things, according to Iqbal, on sense experience. So that's why they find religious experiences as sort of or the writings about religious experience suspect, because they deal with what is not concrete. So I think one of his purposes to propose the ways in which religious experience can be explained in the terms of the vocabulary of modern philosophy and modern science. Okay, so you start with a grand statement or an initial statement about the purpose of the Quran, because that's the book of Islam. So if you want to find out the message of Islam, you should obviously go there. The main purpose of the Quran is to awaken. In man, the higher consciousness of. Now, I'm not sure what higher is doing here. This adjective, whether it's a type of consciousness or heightened consciousness. I suspect it's a type of consciousness, but I'm not sure. what's the difference between lower and higher consciousness. So the purpose of Quran is to awaken in the man higher consciousness, or consciousness of his or her manifold relations with God and the universe. Okay, so let us it's clear, but let us look at it a bit in a bit more detail, not too much, since that's the main purpose. And I think his basic formulation is correct, but we might need to fill in the details. Okay, the purpose of Quran he's talking about, and saying the purpose of Quran is to awaken in man the higher consciousness of so the Quran is, the address of Quran is to the man, humankind, or man. It's to the jinns as well, but obviously we don't know much about it. So man, so that's the addressee of the Quran, and the purpose of Quran is to awaken in man consciousness of his manifold relations with God and with the universe. So awaken, so I guess in man's consciousness there is already potential to know what is his relationship with God and universe. The purpose of the Quran is to awaken it and to sharpen it and to give it precise meaning and give it guidelines. So the purpose of Quran is to basically set man's relation with God and universe straight. And the focus is obviously God. So if his relationship with God is established on the right in the right manner, he knows the God and his relationship with his Lord, his relationship with the whole universe will also be straight. And I guess the relationship with the universe include a lot of things. He might be just meaning universe, but universe include nature, animals, other humans, your own self. So relation of self itself, and the fountainhead of this is relationship with God, and these relationships are all interconnected. So the purpose of Quran is to put man's relation with his own self, with other human, with animals, nature, universe as a whole, and God in relationship, firstly to give humans correct notion of what their relationship should be with their own self and with other humans and with animals and with nature and with God, and give human being theoretical as well as practical knowledge of how their relationship should be with these different beings. And I guess in brief, we can say that man's self, himself, other humans, animals, other creatures, like nature, natural world. I guess the basic relationship of man with God is that of worship, which include all love and knowledge and all those things. And with the self is that of being a creature and bondsman of God, whose essence is worshipping God, knowing God, remembering God. And through strengthening these relationships, then your relationship with other human is that of a complex of, as a whole, your relationship with all other being is that of love, because that relationship flows from your relationship with God, which is the relation of worship and love. But its practical manifestation with humans is the set of rights and responsibilities, with animals as well. Set of responsibilities in the case of animals, with other creatures, set of rights and responsibility, and with nature, that of trust, or alamana. And I guess part of this is animals as well. This is God's trust and our responsibility, and we will be asked how we dealt with this trust, and whether we fulfill that trust or not. لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. You will be asked about every bounty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had bestowed upon us, whether you used it in a right way or whether you misused it or abused it, etc. So that's what he's talking about, and he's saying that's the main purpose of the Quran, is to awaken a higher consciousness And I guess by higher consciousness, he means the knowledge, both theoretical knowledge as well as practical knowledge about all these relationships in which human finds himself. And these relationships partially constitute who we are as a self, make us who we are as a self. Okay. So, the main purpose of the Quran is to awaken in man the higher consciousness of this manifold relation with God and the universe. It is in view of this essential aspect of the Quranic teaching that Goethe, while making a general review of Islam as an education about this manifold relation, said to Ackerman, Ackerman, who was his secretary, you see, this teaching never fails. With all our system, we cannot go, and generally speaking, no man can go farther than that. Well, personally, I've never been able to find this reference or either in German edition I saw or the English translation I saw, but the editor of this edition of Allama Iqbal's Reconstruction, on this footnote, he has given a reference to a translation in English, which I haven't seen, but personally, I don't see any need for that, because I don't even know why it makes it's even, why would somebody bother what Goethe thought about it? And the comment is generic as well. So the problem of Islam was really suggested. Okay, so I think that's enough to cover his basic point about the purpose of the Quran and thing, and then he will go and contrast it with Christianity as he understands it, modern Christianity anyway. So we'll look at it. We look at that in the next session. Okay, thank you.